12 Bar Blues. Old men, old whiskey, old guitar and worn out shoes. Old man sitting in the corner playing the 12 Bar Blues. Well, that's an old song to kind of display what it was like down south during the blues era, the 30s, 40s, and 50s, maybe even the 60s. There were places called juke joints where this kind of music started, and what I was playing was not exactly the 12-bar blues, it's more rock and roll, which that's where it came from. But in Still River, you would think that this was unheard of. There were a few juke joint type roadhouses in operation, especially in Still River with the hatting industry, and there were some real dives. There was a street on White Street that had at least 20 bars on it, and some of them were, it wasn't segregation, it was like voluntary segregation. Anybody in their right mind, no matter what color your skin, would not go into Red Negri's bar. Every week somebody was getting shot, stabbed, fights would break out. It was a real dive. But they didn't play in Still River. We were about a mile from that place, but you could hear it a mile away. Still River was about an hour and a half from Harlem, from the Cotton Club. So the kind of music that was played up here in Still River was quite different than what was played in the dives and juke joints down south. They would play in the early days something like what was called jump, bop music. It was called other things too. Bluegrass and country music, that was called hillbilly and hick music. You didn't hear that around at all, except for outside of town. There were a couple bars that were, if you weren't white, you wouldn't go in it even if you were in your right mind or not either. And they would play the country music, but then there were these few clubs that were upstairs in some of the buildings in Still River downtown. The Manhattan Club, there was another one, I forgot, the Concord Club. They were like mini off-Harlem, off-Broadway, kind of off-Harlem nightclubs. And you would see like beautiful colored large Cadillacs and convertibles, Buicks parked outside on weekend nights. And these folks were dressed to the hilt. I mean, I'm talking zoot suits and night dresses, nightgowns, party dresses, minks, hairdos, pompadours, big hats with big feathers. I mean, classy. And the music you heard from there, if you could hear it, would be, Count Basie, Eartha Kitt, Billie Holiday, very classy. And you didn't know where these folks live or where they came from. I mean, men in pinstripe zoot suits, dressed and coiffured to the hilt with pompadours, spats on their shoes, carrying, little snub-nosed silver-plated engraved 38s, gold rings and chains, and things like that, and very classy. But that was like one or two clubs. You very rarely saw them till late Saturday night. Most of the